जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधवा। जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय राधा। यशोदनन्दना ब्रजजनरञ्जना यमुनातीरवनचारी जय कुंज बिहारी यशोदा। यशोदनन्दना ब्रजजनरञ्जना यमुनातीरावनचारी जय कुंज बिहारी यशोदनन्दना ब्रजजनरञ्जना यमुनातीरवनचारी कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज बिहारी Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Jaya Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Radhe, Jaya Jagannatha Jagannatha Baladeva Jaya Subhadramai, Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, विधर्म श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की, संवेद गौर भक्तवृंद की, जय गौर प्रेमानंदे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेष भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 25, Text number 23, the characteristics of King Puranjan. Pishanga nivim shushronim shamam kanakamekalam padbhyam kvanadbhyam chalantim nupurair devatamiva. Pishanganivim shushronim Shamam Kanakameekalam Padbhyam Kvanadbhyam Chalantim Nupurair Devatamiva. Pishanganivim Shushronim Shamam Kanakameekalam Padbhyam Kvanadbhyam Chalantim Nupurair Devatamiva. Any Matajis? Pishanga, yellow. Nivim, garment. Shushronim, beautiful waist. Shamam, blackish. Kanaka, golden. Mekalam, belt. Padbhyam, with the feet. Kwanadbhyam, tinkling. Chalantim, walking. Nupurai, with ankle bells. Devatam, a denizen of the heavens. Iva, like. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Sri Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. The waist and the hips of the women are very beautiful. She was dressed in a yellow sari with a golden belt. While she walked, her ankle bells rang. She appeared exactly like a denizen of the heavens. Purport. This verse expresses the joyfulness of the mind upon seeing a woman with raised hips and breasts, dressed in an attractive sari and bedecked with ornaments. We'll go to the next verse. Sthano vanjita kaishorau samavritto nirantaro vastrantena niguhantim bridaya gajagaminim. Translation. With the end of her sari, the woman was trying to cover her breasts, which were equally round and well placed side by side. She again and again tried to cover them out of shyness, while she walked exactly like a great elephant. Purport. The two breasts represent attachment and envy. The symptoms of raga and dvesha, attachment and envy, are described in Bhagavad Gita 3.34. इंद्रियासेन्द्रियार्थे रागद्वेषौ व्यवस्थितौ तयोर्नावाशम् आगच्छेत् तौ हि अस्य परिपन्थिनौ. Attraction and repulsion for sense objects are felt by embodied beings, but one should not fall under the control of senses and sense objects because they are stumbling blocks on the path of self-realization. These representatives of attachment and envy are very much unfavorable for advancement in spiritual life. One should not be attracted by the breasts of young women. The great saint Shankaracharya had described the breasts of women, especially young women, as nothing but a combination of muscles and blood. So one should not be attracted by the illusory energy of raised breasts with nipples. They are agents of Maya meant to victimize the opposite sex. Because the breasts are equally attractive, they are described as Sama Bhritau. The sex impulse remains in an old man's heart also, even up to the point of death. To be rid of such agitation, one must be very much advanced in spiritual consciousness, like Yamunacharya, who said, Yadavadi mama cheta Krishna padara vinde navanava rasadhamni udhyatum rantumasit tadavadi batanari sangame smaryamane bhavati mukavikara sustu nishtivanam cha. Since I have been engaged in the transcendental loving service of Krishna, realizing ever new pleasure in him, whenever I think of sex pleasure, I spit at the thought and my lips curl with distaste. When one is spiritually advanced, he can no longer be attracted by the lumps of flesh and blood which are breasts of young women. The word Nirantaro is significant because although the breasts are situated in different locations, the action is the same. We should not make any distinction between attachment and envy. As described in Bhagavad Gita, they are both products of Rajoguna. Kama esha krodha esha Rajoguna samudbhava. The word Niguhantim, trying to cover, indicates that even if one is tainted by Kama, Lobha, Krodha, etc., they can be transfigured by Krishna consciousness. In other words, one can utilize Kama, lust, for serving Krishna. Being impelled by lust, an ordinary worker will work hard day and night. Similarly, a devotee can work hard day and night to satisfy Krishna. Just as karmis are working hard to satisfy Kama, Krodha, a devotee should work in the same way to satisfy Krishna. Similarly, Krodha, anger, can also be used in the service of Krishna when it is applied to the non-devotee demons. Hanumanji applied his anger in this way. He was a great devotee of Lord Ramachandra, and he utilized his anger to set fire to the kingdom of Ravana, a non-devotee demon. Thus, Kama, lust, can be utilized to satisfy Krishna, and Krodha, anger, can be utilized to punish the demons. When both are used for Krishna's service, they lose their material significance and become spiritually important. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Mena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrachatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरस्वे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं गायते गिरिं यत्कृपः तमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणम्। Hare Krishna. So before I start speaking, I seek the blessings of His Grace Anandamai Prabhu and all the assembled Vaishnavas so that I can speak on this verse for the purification of my heart. So when we just read the translation, one may get bewildered. But that's why the purports of Prabhupada are very much required so that we come out of illusion. So here Prabhupada is nicely explaining so that I can actually come out of illusion. So here in this section, Narada Muni, after seeing that King Prachina Barishad, he was in illusion. So his sons Prachetas were sent by his father Prachina Barishad for performing austerities. But he himself was staying in the kingdom and he was attached to fruitive activities. He was performing all karma kanda sacrifices. So Narada Muni, out of compassion for King Prachina Barishad, he goes and tells that why are you unnecessarily performing this fruitive activities, all this karma kanda sacrifices. And he shows him that how all the animals which he has killed actually were waiting for him to attack and kill him in the future. So then finally this King Prachina Barishad surrenders to him and requests him to instruct him. So Narada Muni, out of his compassion, so he is telling a allegorical story of King Puranjan. So through that story, he is trying to instruct King Prachina Barishad. Okay? Because if suppose I chastise someone, they may feel hurt. But if we give the same chastisement through some story, like we tell the story of Kailash, how is attached to household life. So you may think, okay, Kailash is attached to family. But then the medicine lies in the laddu. So just like sometimes mother wants to feed some medicine which is not tasty, so she may mix the medicine in some laddu and feed the child. So the child may think that this is nice laddu. But then while taking that laddu, he also takes the medicine. So same way here, Narada Muni very expertly is telling to give up all sense gratification through the story of King Puranjan. So this King Puranjan represents one who is staying in the material body and trying to enjoy by wandering in this material world through various sense gratificatory desires. Okay? And while roaming around, he comes across this woman, beautiful woman, which is mentioned here. So this woman actually represents the intelligence. Okay. So the materialistic intelligence this woman represents, because here the living entity, conditioned soul, tries to enjoy through the contaminated mind, and the perverted intelligence makes various plans to enjoy sense gratification. Okay. So when he comes across various sense objects in this world, okay, so then there is attachment and there is aversion, for various sense objects of this world. Attachment for those which give me sense gratification, and aversion for those which don't give me sense gratification. Okay, that's what the conditioned soul is. So here Prabhupada is nicely explaining how one should not be falling into illusion. So the root cause of uh, material existence is bodily conception of life. Thinking that I am this body and everything in relation with this body is mine, right? That is the root cause of illusion. So aham mameti. So when we come out of this ignorance and understand that we are spirit soul, part and parcel of Krishna, and engage in his service, we come out of that conditioned life. It appears very simple, right? The basic foundation knowledge is very simple. But because we are so much conditioned, and we don't have sufficient realization of the subject matter, so again we fall in illusion when we come in contact with the sense objects of this world. Okay. So Krishna, no, if we see in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, he devotes lot of time in explaining who we are, right? If you see from 2.13 to almost 2.26 or so, in so many verses, he could have just told in one verse, Dehinosmin yata dehe, finish. One verse is sufficient. Why to explain the same concept in so many verses? Because Krishna knows that even after telling, these conditioned souls are, again going to fall prey. So just like a teacher wants to emphasize something, so the teacher will again tell in various ways. The same subject matter will be told from different angles of vision, right? So the same concept of soul, that how we are not this body, we are soul, is again explained by Krishna through various verses, explaining the various characteristics of the soul, right? And how the soul is indestructible, all these things, and also explaining with various analogies, right? So but unfortunately, even after hearing, we again fall into illusion, right? One thing is we forget it, we don't keep reading, or sometimes we may start thinking that I already know that, right? So Krishna very nicely explains that how the body keeps changing. When we take birth, we are very small, right? And then the body keeps changing, right? One after another, right? And at the time of death, we give up that body and take another body according to our desires and karma. So if you think you are the body, which body? Right? Whether it is child's body, which body is yours? Right? Prabhupada says in one lecture that people are attached to their relatives, parents, right? So somebody's father or wife died. So he's crying. But then you're crying for that, you are attached to that body. That body is there only. So why are you crying? Prabhupada was saying, right? Body is there only. You are attached to that body. You want to enjoy sense gratification. But that body which you are crying for is there only. Then why are you crying? That means you are actually crying for the soul which left. There's no life in that body. That's why you are crying. No more sense gratification. The body is going to be burned, right? So even if there is a Miss Universe or whatever, Mr. Universe, right? So they are attractive as long as there is life, right? Once they die, nobody cares. It rots, and they want to burn it or bury it, right? So the body is actually attractive because of the presence of soul. Because as long as the soul is there, then only the body is attractive. Otherwise, it's not attractive. Just like hand, we may wear different gloves, right? There is boxing glove or cricket gloves, different. So same way the soul wears different dresses, uh, different gloves according to his desires or karma, both, right? So the body keeps changing. So the soul is attractive, which makes this body attractive. And why the soul is attractive? Because it is part and parcel of Krishna, who is the super soul, right? Who is the source of everyone. So this we forget, and we are superficially attracted to the body, the conditioned state of mind. So this basic foundational knowledge should not be forgotten. Who we are, and not only who we are, and what is our constitutional position. Jivere Swarupoi, Krishna Nityadas. So, so here Prabhupada is mentioning that we should not have attachment and envy. Both are dangerous. Okay? The attraction and repulsion for sense objects are felt by the embodied beings, and one should not fall under the control of the senses and sense objects. These are the stumbling blocks. So, Atmendriya Priti Vanche Tarebale Kam, Krishna Indra Priti Vanche Tarebale Prem. So, if you want to satisfy your own senses, that is called lust. But if you try to satisfy Krishna's senses, that is love. So somebody may say, why I should satisfy Krishna's senses? Why not satisfy my own senses? Actually, first of all, the first illusion is to think that we are this body. Okay? And also to think that this body belongs to me. Okay? Actually, nothing belongs to us. The body, no, everything related to the body, everything belongs to Krishna, right? So according to our karma, we may get a different body, right? But actually, it doesn't belong to us. Just like somebody is working in a company, so he may be given a car for some time, right? As per his level, right? So that car has to be used in the service of the company, right? So same way Krishna has given us this body. Karmana daiva netrena jantor dehopapate striya pravishta udaram pumso reta kanasraya. Karmana daiva netrena. Under the direction of the Supreme Lord, the soul is sent into the semen of a particular man to enter the womb of a particular woman. So under whose direction it is happening? Under the Karmana Daiva Netrena, under the direction of Supreme Lord. And the whole procedure is arranged by whom? By Krishna. And how the baby grows in the womb, that is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam 3rd canto. How every month various limbs and various organs, how they grow. Everything is very nicely explained by Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay? So this whole arrangement is made by whom? By Krishna. Right? And the food, the air, everything is organized by Krishna. Right? So ultimately everything is arranged by Krishna only. Right? So it belongs to Krishna. The senses belong to Krishna. He is Rishikesha, the master of mind and senses. Right? But foolishly the living entity thinks that this body and senses belong to me. That is ignorance. Right? Just like a child is given some doll to play. So the child starts playing with the doll, Barbie doll, something, people keep giving. So after some time you try to take the toy away. What happens? The child gives? No, because he is attached, because he likes the doll. Right? When he is getting sense gratification from that, then he starts becoming attached to it. So when you try to take it away, he starts crying. So same way Krishna gives us this body and various sense objects to do sense gratification in this material world as per our karma and our desires. We get various dolls or various sense objects. So when trying to enjoy in this material world, we become attached. We become attached to those sense objects. And when it is being taken away, we start crying. That's why people cry at the time of death, because no longer sense gratification. No longer sense gratification. Again, it will take time. Means they don't have faith that there is next life. They think this life is all in all. So they are afraid to lose their relatives and their home and all the various types of sense gratification. That's why they are crying. But actually, it doesn't belong to you. It belongs to Krishna. Right? In foolishness, in ignorance, you are thinking that it belongs to you. Right? So this we should understand. That actually this body, this mind, this senses, everything belongs to Krishna. Right? So because he is the Lord and Master of this body and senses, it is meant to be engaged in his service, not our service. Just like a cashier in a bank, he may collect money, he may issue money, so many things he may be doing, but he has to work on behalf of the bank. Right? Same way, we are in this body, but we are not this body. So we are meant to engage this body and all the things given in relation with the body in service of Lord, not in our service. When the cashier starts using money for his sense gratification, he will be put in jail. Right? So same way, the living entity who is trying to enjoy through the body and senses, he has to suffer life after life. Right? He will be given punishment. Right? So this foundational knowledge should be remembered again. Right? Because in ignorance, in conditioned state of mind, we always think that I am this body and this body belongs to me. So because it belongs to me, I can enjoy, I can do whatever I like. No, it's not, it doesn't belong to you. Right? Just like, as I said, a car given to an employee, if he uses it properly, no, he may even get a plane. Right? If he starts working properly as per the company. Right? But if he misuses, he may get a Luna. Right? So same way, living entity who uses this material body to elevate himself, he may go to spiritual world. But if he misuses, he may get the body of a dog, cat, no, all those things. Right? So here Prabhupada is also helping us to come out of the illusion. Okay? So another thing, both attachment and aversion are dangerous. Because both bind us in this material world. Okay? So attachments also binds and aversion. If somebody has aversion for someone, he has to again take birth to fulfill that envy or aversion. Okay? That's why it is dangerous. Like Prabhupada, I think in Los Angeles or San Francisco, so the brahmacharis, they were saying that no women should be there in the temple hall. Or they are disturbing our mind and senses. So Prabhupada said, this is aversion. Either you are attached or there is aversion. He said, then better you go to forest. Then there is no woman there. So both should be avoided. Then Prabhupada is talking that how one should come out of the illusion by understanding how this body is simply made of bones, muscles, stool, urine, all these horrible substances. So we know that this famous story of liquid beauty, right? You all already heard, but in short, we know that once a young man is attracted to a very beautiful girl, so he goes and proposes her. So she says, you just wait for a few days, then no, you can meet me. So meanwhile, she takes strong purgatives by which she has loose motions and vomitings. So she collects all that in 2 pots, all the vomitings and stool. And then after few days, when that person comes, By that time she becomes completely weak, frail, and the whole face becomes very wrinkled. So he comes with a desire to enjoy. So when he comes, so he knocks the door and that same girl opens. So he says, where is that girl? He says, I am the same girl. Hey, but you don't look the same. You look completely different. He says, I am the same. I kept my beauty for you in a special place. Please come. So then she goes and shows the two pots which are filled with stool and all those horrible substances. So actually this is the real thing which is actually there in our body. Hmm? So this body is just a attractive packaging. Just like suppose somebody gives you a nice package, very nice cover and nicely packaged. So generally people are nowadays attracted by only packaging. What is inside only God knows. But so, and suppose somebody gives you a nice attractive package and when you open it, there is all bones and stool and blood. What you'll do? Throw it in dustbin, right? So our body is exactly like that only, right? There is no difference. It is only covered by skin, right? Which appears very attractive and shining. But actually, as we said, the body is just a dress, uh, and it is alive only because of presence of soul. Otherwise, this package will not be alive. It will be dead. It is dead matter. That's why Krishna also says, Yantra Rudani Maya. This is only a machine, like car and driver. The car is active as long as there is driver in the car. Once it is driver is off the car just is inactive, right? Nobody is attracted by the car, right? Yeah, people are attracted also generally nowadays, like seeing, oh, this nice car and this and that. But actually, ultimately, it is all dead matter, right? So same way, this body is just like a car. The car has two headlights and it also makes sound. It also has legs, the tires. Same way, body is exactly like that only, in the sense representing, right? But we really know that it is dead matter. The same way, body is also dead matter, but it is very nicely packaged and arranged by the Lord. Actually, one should remember Krishna. Oh, how amazing is Krishna, that he has made such a wonderful machine, right? This body, which even grows. Car doesn't grow, right? But this machine grows also. If you keep feeding it, it keeps growing, at least until some stage, and eventually it rots, right? But after all, it's only a machine. So this illusion has to be remembered again and again. That's what Shankaracharya tells, that one should always keep remembering that how this body is just made of all this. Why? Why we should again and again remember? Somebody may say, because we forget the reality. We forget the reality and we keep again remembering, thinking that I am this body and no, others are attractive, right? So if you remember it, then it becomes easy for us to come out of illusion. Okay, that is one way by which we can overcome. But the another way here Prabhupada mentions is like how Yamunacharya. Yamunacharya previously was interested in sex life, but then he's telling, since I have been engaged in the transcendental loving service of Krishna, realizing ever new pleasure, so I spit at this thought and my lips curl in distaste. Vishya vinivartante niraharasya dehina rasavarjam rasopyasya param drashtva nivartate. Because only detachment doesn't work. The Mayavadis, they just say, oh, this is illusion, this body is illusion. Okay, that may negate the illusion for some time and you may come to neutral stage. But then if there is no higher engagement, then the illusion only appears attractive. Oh, nothing else is there. What should I do? This is only, right? No, there is higher alternative. Stay high forever, which is Krishna consciousness. So the Bhakti Yoga process gives us a alternative to engage our mind and senses in Krishna service. As here Yamnachari is mentioning, or Ambarish Maharaj says, Savai Mana Krishna Padaravindairo, engaging all our senses in Krishna service. Because the senses are meant to be engaged in His service, because they belong to Him, they don't belong to you. So, and only by engaging in His service will be satisfied. Why? Because the soul is naturally part and parcel of Krishna. Our dharma is to, the soul's dharma is to serve Krishna. The soul is satisfied only in serving Krishna. Savai pumsho paro dharmo yato bhakti radokshajai ahaituki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. Only when you render unmotivated, uninterrupted devotional service, then only the soul is suprasidati, satisfied. No other ways and means one is satisfied. In Bhagavatam itself, we see the stories of Yayati or Pururava. They engage in so much sex life with the most beautiful women, this Urvasi and all. So, but still at the end of that, he is completely frustrated. It is mentioned. And then there is Ailagit, where he mentions how this material body and all the sense gratification is illusory. That is mentioned in the 11th canto. So, even in the greatest of kings who did so much of sense gratification, they are also frustrated. So, and they are giving their realizations. So, one should engage in the service of the Lord in the 9 process of devotional service. So, how to develop that higher taste? One can develop that higher taste by engaging in any of the 9 processes. Whatever out of the 9 processes helps you to develop that higher taste, we should do that particular process again and again. Okay, so that we develop that higher taste. Like somebody likes studying Prabhupada books and he is developing higher taste like that. So we can do that again and again, more and more, so that we can develop that higher taste. Okay, so another thing which Prabhupada is mentioning here is about how one can transform this kama, krodha into Krishna consciousness. Okay, kama Krishna karmarpane. So instead of satisfying one's lust, okay, by engaging in sense gratification of the sense objects, the same senses, if you engage in Krishna service, then they will be purified. The senses are compared to serpents, and the poison like the senses have is compared with sense gratification. Okay, so but if you remove that poison of the senses, the snakes can't harm you. Okay, so same way, the sense gratification mentality, the enjoying mentality, has to be transformed to service attitude. Bhoga vritti has to be transformed to seva vritti. But how it will happen? It will happen only by engaging in the service of the Lord. Okay, or by chanting the holy names of the Lord. Gradually this seva vritti which is actually dormant. Nitya siddha Krishna prema sabu koinai shavanadi shuddha chitta karayudai. Naturally the living entity has dormant love for Krishna. So when he keeps engaging in the service of the Lord, naturally that love for Krishna will arise. Okay, one will give up all this enjoying mentality. So people work hard for sense gratification. Prabhupada says they travel 2-3 hours in the morning and in the night for work, and they work hard like ass, Prabhupada mentions. But when it comes to serving Krishna, they are dull. For serving Maya, one is active. But for serving Krishna, one is dull, inactive. But Prabhupada is telling, but actually one should be active to serve Krishna. So Prabhupada very intelligently engaged one's passion in Krishna service. Like when Prabhupada was in US, he saw that all these Vaishnavas have lot of energy, lot of strength, lot of passion. They can't sit at one place and chant 64 rounds. So Prabhupada said, go out for book distribution, go out for Harinam. So they would distribute books for 6 to 8 hours. Some devotees would do Harinam for 6 to 8 hours. So all their passion was drained. in the compassionate activities engaged by Srila Prabhupada. So that way, all their passion was transformed under the direction of the spiritual master. So one should engage in the service of Lord under the direction of spiritual master, then automatically this karma will be overcome. And Krodha Prabhupada is mentioning, just like Hanuman used his anger against Ravan, all the demons. So same way one should become angry at the non-devotees, or one can become angry at one's contaminated mind. Chastise one's mind. Use that anger against one's own contaminated mind. Chastise the mind. You rascal, what are you thinking? Huh? Or one can very vigorously preach Krishna consciousness, so that all the demonic forces which are influencing the society right in a bad way, they may stop. So in this way, one engages one's propensities in Krishna service. Okay. So just like uh, from milk only comes curd, so the same work Prabhupada says, which entangles one, the same work can also help one to come out of material existence. So by engaging the results of that work in Krishna service, one can come out of the entanglement of this world. So one should vigorously try to serve Krishna, use all one's body, mind, and words in service of Krishna. Then automatically we can control our mind and senses. Okay? We cannot control our mind and senses with our strength. We have no power to control our mind and senses. The yogis superficially try to control their mind and senses. But devotees try to control their mind and senses depending on Krishna. Oh Hrishikesha, please control my mind and senses. Right? By pleasing Krishna, by His mercy, He controls our mind and senses. That's the difference. So that's why when we chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So we are requesting Srimati Radharani and Krishna, please engage me in your service. I have been engaging my mind and senses in service of Maya from so many lifetimes, and my mind has only cheated me. Mind and senses have only cheated me. Why? Because it gives us hope of happiness, but actually we only suffer life after life. We keep on suffering in the cycle of birth and death, right? So our mind and senses are only cheating us. But Krishna is assuring us eternal life, which is filled with happiness, bliss. Okay, so we should put faith in Krishna, in the words given by Krishna, and engage all our mind and senses in Krishna service. Only then we can overcome this lust or aversion or envy, which is mentioned here. Otherwise, we cannot overcome artificially, just by understanding the illusory nature of this material existence. So, thank you very much. Any one question anybody has? Okay, so we'll end here. Thank you very much. Shrimad Bhavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Samveta Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.